Please be seated, everybody. As president, I am pleased to welcome you on behalf of the faculty, staff, and governing boards of Weber State University to our 144th commencement exercises. The prelude and processional music were performed by the Weber State University Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Dr. Francisco de Galvez. Seated on the platform are members of the Board of Trustees, Alan Hall, Luenda Downs, Karen Fairbanks, Joseph Favero, Andre Lortz, and Dr. Jeff Stevens. We are very pleased Dr. F. Ann Milner, past president of the university, is joining us today. Members of the Utah State Board of Regents, Jessilee Anderson, Brady Harris, Marlon Jensen, Robert Marquardt, and Teresa Tyre are also present. We'd also like to welcome Associate Commissioner Liz Hitch. We're also pleased to have honorary degree recipient Dr. Daniel Walker Howe in attendance. Past honorary degree recipients, faculty, staff, and student body officers are seated on the floor. I would especially like to acknowledge our faculty and staff who are retiring this year. We appreciate your dedication and service to the university, and we wish you well in your new endeavors. Let's give them a round of applause. Welcome, graduates. When you decided to obtain a college degree, you did more than invest in an education. You embarked upon a transformational journey. Today, as you celebrate your accomplishment, think of the person you were when you took that first step toward a college education, and think of the person that you have become now. You now have a basic set of skills and a growing expertise in your chosen field, but that's just the beginning. You've come to understand that the world is a complicated place. You are better equipped to take on complex problems because you understand that some issues deserve a critical viewpoint. In addition, you can better imagine what the world looks like through someone else's eyes. You've become more empathetic. Your confidence in navigating this world has likely blossomed. Maybe you had the opportunity to study abroad or to participate in a community-engaged learning project. Perhaps your professors helped you realize something inside of yourself that you didn't know that you possessed. You discovered that you can accomplish great things. The fact that you're sitting here today, mortarboard atop your head, tassel hanging down, is a testament to that fact. And you will continue to accomplish great things and continue to be influenced by your professors and your classmates, who are now your colleagues. Attaining an education at Weber State does more than fill your head with knowledge. It transforms your life for good. In fact, Weber State has been transforming lives for 125 years. Isn't that amazing? It's a tremendous legacy. Graduates, as you receive your diploma, realize that what you have accomplished today enables you to lead a better, more fulfilling, and more satisfying life. In turn, please guide others to better lives too. Use your own transformation to help transform others into happier, more capable people. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to learn more about the class of 2014. Graduates, this is the interactive part of today's ceremony, so pay attention. Are you willing to help me out? Okay. Graduates, please stand if you are the first in your family to graduate from college. You may be seated. Thank you. You're not done yet. Please stand if you worked either part-time or full-time while attending the university. That's everyone. Okay. Thank you. Now please stand if you participated in a service learning project, had an internship, conducted undergraduate research, or completed a capstone or a senior project. Stand up. Thank you. Are you tired yet? Please stand if you have a job waiting for you or if you're continuing in graduate or professional studies. Thank you. And finally, please stand if you are a veteran or active military member. Thank you for your service to our country. You may be seated. Congratulations to each of you and best wishes for your future success. May you make countless other dreams happen for yourselves and for others. Now, you will soon have the opportunity to hear from Mikhail Jensen, one of our outstanding graduates of the 2014 class, who will deliver the student address. Following Mikhail's remarks, we will view a short video featuring fellow graduates. Board of Trustees Chair Alan Howe will then present an honorary degree to Daniel Walker Howe, who will then provide our commencement address. He will be followed by a performance of the Weber State University Symphony Orchestra. Mikhail Jensen, a writing professional who has never stopped reaching for her dreams, is graduating today with a master's degree in English. Mikhail stands out in the realms of both creative writing and technical writing. During her time at Weber State, she worked on the university's Elleris Graduate Literature Journal as an editor and assistant editor. One of her favorite literary subjects is American transcendentalism, perhaps best exemplified by Henry David Thoreau, and she even took a trip to Walden Pond. She also helped seniors at the Washington Terrace Senior Center tell their own stories as part of Dr. Judy Elsley's life writing course. Mikhail has 9 years of professional writing, editing, and desktop publishing experience. She has worked in the publishing, pharmaceuticals, and government contracting industries. Now that she's graduating, Mikhail would like to continue the same goals that she had when going into her program. Think, reason, and fine-tune her craft of writing. Beyond that, she wants to inspire her children to see the world as a wonderful, curious, living place. As president, I hope that Weber State has inspired its graduates to see the world in the same light. Ladies and gentlemen, Mikhail Jensen.
It is my pleasure to be here today with my fellow graduates. Let me be one of the first to say we did it. It was not without a great deal of sacrifice that we arrived here today. We sacrificed money, home life, work commitments, and a social life to make it to this moment. It felt like this day was always on the horizon, but now it's here, it's now. Congratulations. In his book, Nature, first published in 1836, the great thinker Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The reason why the world lacks unity and lies broken in heaps is because man is disunited within himself." In other words, we need to be united in ourselves in order to unite with the world. The world also becomes what we make of it and how we see it. Emerson believes that we need to go to the source, find the first-hand accounts to teach us how to think. His favorite first-hand source is nature. Nature is the place where science and art combine and produce things that amaze, inspire, and engage. For a moment, look at your hand. To us scientists, this hand is made up of skin, muscle, and bone. Looking closer, it has layers of epidermis, ligaments, capillaries, and cells. To us artists, this hand has form and color. Searching deeper, it has meaning, poetry, life, and a story. Business graduates, with a signature made from this hand, we plan to close deals that'll make money to support ourselves and our families. Education graduates, this hand is extended in trust to our students. And in child development, little ones will hold on to this hand as they seek assurance, guidance, and love. To us health professionals, this hand will care and work to heal those that need our gift. Applied science graduates, our hands extend past the binary in the creation of abilities that bring us closer together through technology. To us in the humanities, this hand is a symbol that gives words that make things alive. Do not underestimate our contribution to the world. Just like in nature, art enhances science. Science enhances art. We all see the world differently, but all our perspectives taken together make something complete. Our combined perspectives matter. Our combined voices matter. And today, we will add our voices and perspectives with those that have come before us. Thank you.
When I first came to Weber State, I was going to be a vocal performance major. And then I realized that I have a terrible fear of singing in front of people, and that probably wasn't the way that I wanted to go. At the same time, I was in classes in political science and communication, and it made me realize that that's actually what I was passionate about, was government and serving people and helping people. I love internships. I'm currently serving my 4th internship. In my first internship in DC, I was working for a Weber State alum. She was a director within this department that I was working, but she still took the time to come back and visit me at my desk and give me advice and offer to help me in all of my future endeavors, and it meant a lot to me.
I enjoy welding because I struggled with it so terribly at first. I like a challenge. I like to be completely frustrated and out of my mind about something and then figuring it out and having that amazing sense of accomplishment. I had an internship with a company called Miller Electric Manufacturing. I beat out everyone from BYU, Idaho, as well as Weber State that interviewed. So that was a pretty proud moment when I was offered that internship. I got there and made every mistake I could possibly make. The way I look at it, no one ever got better by being completely comfortable all the time. It's all about putting yourself out there, making mistakes, and learning from it. The company offered me a position even before I graduated.
It was at Weber State that I finally decided, you know what, I want to teach, and I want to teach physics. I already have a job as a teacher. I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade science. I think all educators hope they're making a difference in the lives of their students. Whenever I think about light, I always think of Dr. Soul. When I think about scientific method, I think of Dr. Johnston. And I hope that my students will do the same thing. When they think of conservation of energy, I hope they think of Mr. Sherman.
I came into the Air Force whenever I was 18 years old. I knew that it was what I wanted to do, but ultimately the reason why I even went into the Air Force was to get my education. And I have my little motivation, and my 7-year-old, and she's been there with me every step of the way. It's been really hard. There have been times where I just didn't know how I could go forward. But ultimately, it's been amazing. I had to take about a year off of school to deploy to Iraq. And Iraq wasn't that bad.
but being away from her was. That was really difficult for me. And I missed some classes, and it became very hard to be able to focus and to keep going. But in the midst of everything, I was somehow able to get through it.
The main thing that I want to be able to get from this is to prove to my daughter that no matter what, you're going to be able to do everything that you set out to do.
The main thing that golf taught me in life was that my thoughts and my attitude control my actions and my behavior. If I'm negative and pessimistic, my golf game was terrible and awful, and the same thing with life. Our season is in the spring and the fall, and so I would miss every other week for about 2 months of each semester, and that was overwhelming at times. It was an extremely difficult balance for me, but I had amazing professors that were more than willing to work with me and to help me. And I had obviously a coach who definitely put academics first. I look back and I realized that I took, I think it was 13 math classes in 3 semesters, and I graduated with honors. So what I've learned about myself is not that I can only do hard things, but that I have done hard things.
My family and I immigrated from Chile 14 or 15 years ago. As a kid, I lived life day to day. I didn't really have any plans or big visions. I was the kind of kid that threw snowballs at cars. Growing up, we never really had much money, and the thought of college, it never crossed my mind. But a friend suggested that if I wanted to keep going to school and I couldn't afford it, that they may be able to find scholarships for me. And in the beginning, it was only $500. So I still had to find the money to pay for the school. But the more time I spent in Weaver State and the better grades I got, I guess they realized that I wasn't messing around, so they started to pay for my school for all of it.
Throughout my 4 years in college, there was times where I just wanted to quit. You know, there are those times when you're like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. But Pat DeYoung, she helped me out. She's really good at motivating people. Pat likes to see girls in engineering because there's not many of them, and she believes that we should help each other.
Weaver State means a career. It means an opportunity in life.
I can never repay Weaver State for what they've done for me, but I hope at least that I can pay it forward.
For me, Weaver State was my door to achieve something greater. They have given me the foundations, the basics, so that I could build something better.
That education that I received from Weaver State, it's in me, and now I get to pass it on to my students.
Weaver State has been the best decision of my life, and I will forever bleed purple.
Graduating from Weaver State is the culmination of so much effort and so much soul searching and figuring out what I want to do with my life and where I want to go. I've proven to myself that I can finish something when I didn't think I could.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will now proceed with the awarding of the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities. This is the highest honor Weber State University confers upon an individual, and we are pleased to award such a degree today. President White, honored guests, and distinguished faculty, it is the recommendation of the Board of Trustees and the faculty of Weber State University that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred upon Daniel Walker Howe. Will Karen Fairbanks and Jeff Stevens, members of the Board of Trustees, please escort Mr. Howe to the podium and assist in the hooding. Today is a special moment for our graduates, and we can best appreciate this time by reflecting upon what has brought us here. We each followed a path to this moment, and that path is now the past. Our fall 2014 honorary degree recipient, Dr. Daniel Walker Howe, is an expert in illuminating the past. A Pulitzer Prize-winning historian, he has guided many toward a better understanding of the present time in America through inviting us to take a good look at our American past. His deeply embedded footprint upon historical scholarship began in the 1960s with a teaching assignment at Yale. He later taught for nearly 2 decades at UCLA and was a Harmsworth visiting professor at Oxford, where he helped found the university's Rothermere American Institute. Oxford must have left an indelible impression, because in 1992 he took early retirement at UCLA to accept an appointment as Oxford's Rhodes Professor of American History. He and his wife visit Oxford every summer for a month or more. Dr. Howe's varied and accomplished career was crowned with the award-winning recognition in 2008 when his book, What Hath God Wrought? The Transformation of America, 1815 to 1848, received the Pulitzer Prize for History. That work also received the annual American History Prize of the New York Historical Society and the annual prize of the Society for Historians of the Early American Republic. He has written several other respected books and has been the historical advisor for America, the Story of Us on the History Channel, and was interviewed for the PBS documentary Andrew Jackson, Good, Evil, and the Presidency. For these and numerous other personal and professional accomplishments, the Board of Trustees and President Charles A. White, on behalf of Weber State University, confer upon Daniel Walker Howe the degree of Doctor of Humanities. Dr. Howe, my pleasure to give you this. Let's come up here, let's get the picture right here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Dr. Howe a wonderful Wildcat welcome.
Thank you all very much. Today, this afternoon, is an important moment in the lives of everyone here. The graduates deserve congratulations on their successful conclusion of years of hard work. The families of the graduates deserve congratulations for their contributions, many and varied as they may be, to the success of the graduates. The faculty, administrators, and staff members can feel a gratification of their own, for the success of their students is an index of their own working achievement. Finally, of course, this is a wonderfully important moment for me. And I would like to thank Weber State University from the bottom of my heart for inviting me to play a part in today's celebrations. I'd like to specify some specific individuals to thank. President Charles A. White, Professor Susan Matt, Chair of the History Department, and Beverly Rudd, the Special Events Coordinator. One reason why this occasion is deeply meaningful to me is that I was born here in Ogden at the D Hospital, as it was then named, on January 10th, 1937. My father was born in Ogden too, and his father's father died here in Ogden. My father, Morris Howe, was a newspaper reporter on the Ogden Standard Examiner. He loved Ogden history and co-authored a book about the first white settler in Ogden, a man named Miles Goodyear. As state director of the Utah Writers Project, Morris Howe played a prominent role in creating the book entitled Utah, A Guide to the State, published in 1941. Sadly, my father died of a heart attack when he was only 43 years old, and I was only 8. He would have loved today's occasion, and I pray that he is watching it. I offer up my wonderful experience today to him and to his memory. Our commencement ceremony is a celebration of human improvement. You graduates are people who have improved yourselves by the work you have done, by the time and effort you have devoted to that work, with the assistance of your families, your teachers, and everyone who works for Weber State University. What we celebrate today is therefore both an individual and a community achievement. Our conception, our ideal of human improvement is something we owe to the Americans of the 19th century, to the people who founded Weber Academy, the predecessor of this university. 19th century Americans were devoted to public education. Those earlier Americans led the world in providing public education to girls and women, not only to boys and men. But they did not confine their idea of human improvement to formal education alone. They would remind today's graduates that you have a responsibility to continue your process of improvement through further training and self-discipline. The enterprise on which you embarked here at Weber State is not completed. It needs to be a lifelong process. If self-improvement was a lifelong process, even in the 19th century, how much more true is that today? Today, our society requires ever more and ever higher education. That's why Weber Academy became Weber State University. I'd like to look forward, not only backward, with you this morning. We celebrate you graduates' accomplishment in our ceremony here, but we would also encourage you in continuing your self-improvement after graduation. No better example of self-improvement can be found than Abraham Lincoln. He lived even before Weber Academy had been founded, and in a part of the United States where few opportunities for formal education then existed. Nevertheless, he contrived an impressive discipline of self-development. Lincoln and his contemporaries lived in a world where, since time immemorial, boys had followed in their father's footsteps and pursued their father's occupational calling. America's open society brought the new opportunity for boys to leave home and seek to find themselves, as Abraham Lincoln left Thomas Lincoln's farm and pursued a vocation more in line with his own inclinations and talents. The revolutions in transportation, commerce, and industry that the United States underwent during the 19th century multiplied the occupational options available to those young people. Girls, as well as boys, began to have the chance to leave home, earn their own money, and enjoy a kind of personal independence they did not have in their father's household, at least until the women married and became part of their husband's household. All this was exciting to the young people of Abraham Lincoln's generation. What made it so exciting was not simply that young people had a wider variety of economic opportunities. What made it exciting was that they could choose what kind of person they wanted to be. This is a privilege Americans of our time still enjoy, and which we, and you graduates specifically, can replicate. Abraham Lincoln was a self-made man in a way that we no longer use the term self-made. When we use it, we usually have in mind a business person, and we use it to mean that they have achieved upward social mobility, specifically in financial terms. But if we go back to Lincoln's time, we find the term self-made used in a much more comprehensive way. One that does not exclude success in business, but is by no means restricted to it. What Lincoln's generation had in mind was a self-conscious development of one's human potential. In 1858, a person named Charles Seymour wrote a collection of biographical sketches entitled Self-Made Men. His book sums up very well what Americans of his generation meant by self-made. Of his 60 subjects, only a few were newly rich entrepreneurs. Most of them were scientists, inventors, and statesmen. They represented the kind of individuals, Seymour believed, who were making the world anew during an era of industrial revolution, geographical expansion, and knowledge explosion. They had been able to reshape their world because they had first made themselves. Abraham Lincoln was such a person. Better remembered than Seymour as an author is Horatio Alger Jr. Where Seymour wrote biographies of real people, Alger wrote inspirational fiction about poor boys who made good. Reading Alger's stories today, we are struck by the element of luck that seems to come into play. Ragged Dick saves a little boy from drowning, and the child turns out to be the son of a wealthy man who gives Dick a good job. But these turns of fortune are not what the stories are really about. They are really about the protagonist's formation of character and self-discipline. This is why young people, girls as well as boys, read the stories for generations until comparatively recently. My wife, growing up in a small town in northwest Iowa, loved the Horatio Alger stories and understood them in the way they were meant to be understood, as models for self-construction. The moral of Alger's stories is that if you make yourself into the right kind of person, you will be prepared for the luck when it comes. If Ragged Dick hadn't disciplined himself to be alert and courageous, he wouldn't have jumped in when the little boy fell off the riverboat. Abraham Lincoln's life told a similar story. Like Horatio Alger's heroes, Lincoln determined to prepare himself for the right moment when it came along. With no formal schooling available to him, the young Lincoln set out to shape his own character. Without the visual media of today, Lincoln developed himself through reading. Conscious as he was of the limitations of his rural environment, he might have read for escape, but he did not. Instead, he read for discipline. He read not only to learn what others had thought and said, but to find out how they did it. He read in order to learn how to think and speak and act for himself accordingly. He read classic accounts of individual struggles, Pilgrim's Progress, Robinson Crusoe, the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. He sought out books about thinking, books about geometry and grammar and the hard conundrums of free will and determinism. He read the same few books over and over, making a virtue of necessity, of course. This way, he absorbed their lessons into his very being. Lincoln's example, even though it comes from an earlier time in American history, is still one that we can take for inspiration, particularly those of us who right now face a future that will require continued self-discipline and self-improvement, with or without the framework of formal education, and with or without continued family support and nurture. This time is a moment to celebrate our achievement, but also to face up to the challenge of the future. Thank you.
Thank you to the Weber State Symphony Orchestra, and thank you, Dr. Howe, for your remarks. I think we could all use a little bit of Lincoln's ethic in us. We will now proceed with the presentation of candidates for graduation by Provost Michael Vaughn.
I invite the candidates who are receiving associate degrees to please stand. Will the candidates receiving a bachelor's degree please rise? Finally, will the candidates receiving a master's degree please rise? President White, as Provost of Weber State University, it's my honor and distinction to present these candidates who have completed all of the requirements for their certificates and degrees indicated in the program of the day and are deemed worthy of this distinction.
In the name of Weber State University, upon the recommendation of its faculty and by the authority of the Utah State Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate certificate or degree indicated in the program of the day. As a symbol of your achievement, will all of the graduates please move the tassels from the right side of the cap to the left side? The graduates for certificates, associate's, and baccalaureate and master's degrees will be presented by the dean of each of the academic colleges with the director of the Bachelor of Integrated Studies program and the associate provost.
Graduates, please come forward.
Cheryl Davis. Deidre Marie Wilson. Catherine Sharshenko. Brock Sandel. Oliver Lawrence Good. Dallin R. Groneman. Derek K. Scoville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you graduates from the Talitha E. Lindquist College of Arts and Humanities. The first degree to be awarded will be the English Master's degree. Graduates, please come forward.
Janica Johnson McClellan.
Nauf Fahad M. Alachai.
Christy Parker.
Deborah A. Hansen.
Jessica Lynn Lavelle.
Nancy May Jarvis.
Sydney Ariel Muse. Amy Catherine Kendall.
Shailani Knighton.
Heidi Janelle Robinson.
Melody Loy Navarro.
Amanda May Nielsen.
David Ord Rumler.
Caitlin Nell Carson.
Mikhail Jensen.
Jordan R. Airy.
Jessica Gibby Tensmeyer.
James K. Garfield.
Lisa A. Vipperman.
Courtney Ellis Woodfield. Chelsea Sommer Hellickson.
Brittany Dewirt.
Megan Patricia Flint.
Colby D. Kendall.
Rachel Annika Cook.
Jeremy D. Stott.
India Nielsen.
Lindy Michelle Shirting.
Peter Mosman.
Corey C. Vestano.
Conley E. Gentry.
Amy Kathleen Talbot.
Blake L. McElrath.
Jessica L. Sant.
Justin R. Williams.
Katie Omer.
Corey Matthew Kambitsky.
Zulma Johanna VR.
Jamie Ann Hamilton.
Rachel Marie Simonson.
Courtney Van Dyke Bond.
Brad Burt.
Aaron John Solberg.
Ashley King.
Catherine Lynn Stenick.
Madison Victoria Larkin.
Brooke Elizabeth Anderson.
Caitlin Spires.
Ingemar Weimer.
Morgan Michelle Bruderer.
Chanel West Marnuza.
Jamie O. Crandall.
Daniela Diestato.
Alex Densley.
Seth Lewis Pace.
Charles A. Bott.
Brett Hosea Farron.
Elizabeth Ann Clark.
Jared B. Christensen.
Jonathan Bassler.
Carly McLean Dickerson.
Crystal A. Ritchie.
Brance J. Brown.
Devin Gilbert.
Elise Virginia Gittins.
Yvonne Pauline Dabb.
Miken Pearson.
Catherine A. Reisky.
Brian Butterfield.
Shirley U. Jackson.
Brent A. Johnson.
Catherine Sue Sonner.
Jake Don Paul.
Camille Aubrey Twitchell.
David S. Hood.
Jared A. Pauline.
Amanda Adele Johnson.
Justin Robert McDaniel.
Bradley Albert Peterson.
Matthew W. Harvey.
Ariel Velarde.
Lauren K. Paskett. Megan N. Osler. Brooke L. Minnick. Zachary Dane Cipriano. Niels F. Johnson. Haley N. Arismendi. Caleb Jordan Cross. Tyler Parson. Skylar King. Alex William Greenhall.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the graduates from the College of Science. Graduates, please come forward.
Clint Douglas Hartman.
Jeffrey D. King.
Randy Cal Olson.
Jamie Diane Stansfield.
Anna Ivanova.
Wendy Michelle Olson.
Lauren A. Montirith.
Casey Cale Ward.
Kayla Jacqueline Blackford.
Sheldon B. Greener.
Tyler James Allen.
Gabriel James Diarte.
Jonathan C. Arndt.
Jordan Henricks.
Bradley R. Gathercole.
Brody K. Arvey.
Nicole Brooks.
Anthea Parker.
Benjamin B. Sherman.
Heather Livingston.
Allison Michelle Clough.
Charlie Ann Larson.
Angelo Chol.
Piper K. Judd.
Rebecca Joan Payne.
What's that? No.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, may I introduce to you the graduates from the College of Applied Science and Technology. Graduates, please come forward.
Aaron Thurgood.
Natalie Johnson Chesley.
Hillary Shea Cook.
Isabel Tovar Vega.
Scott R. Thomas.
Tyson Todd Bell.
Corey J. Hicksonbaugh.
Derek R. Staley.
Casey James Warren.
Michael Rumps.
Carissa J. Bauer.
Dane Linford.
Jesse Richard Dredge IV.
Zachary M. Faulkner.
Skylar Patrick Brinley.
Aaron V. Mitchell.
Justin D. Egley.
Taylor Clark Skank.
Cody Cox.
Matthew Martinez.
Megan Marie Johnson.
Clint D. Kingsley.
Ryan David Thompson.
Mark Stephen Payne.
Tyson S. Holt.
Angela Jean Johnson.
Donald Ray Brissendine.
Jeffrey G. Baugh.
Brian Uttenbogard.
Elizabeth Angela Cantaberos.
Michael Keith Jenkins.
Justin P. Brown.
Cynthia Mae Williams.
Chad R. Peterson.
Matthew Riley Gwynn.
Wesley Doxy Snow.
Joshua T. Kennedy.
Kimberly Jensen.
Ryan W. Baker.
Ronald Pippin.
Jacob Petty.
Melanie Carlisle Silcox.
Tyler Kais.
Jace Hansey Christensen.
Craig Archer Johnson.
Nick Tucker.
Kobe Wilcox.
Robert Shears.
Omar Ben Komala.
Dalton Bush.
Justin Richard Kirtison.
Eric C. Allred. Philip J. Nofi.
Bernardo J. Carrasco Nachochi.
Christopher A. Parkins.
Anthony Warren Sparrow.
Nathan Bradley Maurer.
Sang Hook Ha.
Aaron M. Benicia. David Michael Eppins. Masur Al Irfan. Jeffrey L. Chittister. Jeremy J. Javier. Ryan Douglas Bell. Marty J. Marion. Kevin Albritton. Drew Russell Adams. Joe Wesley Mahurin. Bronson D. Stevens. Michael Anthony Peterson. Darren Atkinson. Jason C. Altmans. Troy David Moon. Jeff Winham. Aldo Alejandro Peralta.
Okay. Eli B. Story.
Jacqueline Marie McCashlin.
McCrae Bissell.
Robert Preston Barrett.
Devin A. Ray.
Blaine Nakana Kazinta.
Anton K. Jackson.
Jana Elizabeth Tilton.
Abdel Konate.
Jake Abel.
Muhammad Adnan Alaha.
Shani Lord.
Aaron J. Roth.
Lisa Olson Day.
Zanab Alhaskis.
Heather Potts.
Jeffrey Pitts.
Samantha Jo Kendall.
Ryan J. Campbell.
Sydney Nicole Walker.
Jamal Agmedov.
Christina Marie Pantaseka.
Clayton P. Scothern.
Martha Alejandra Ruiz Rogers.
Taryn K. Briner.
Verity Louise Johnson.
Ashley D. Hamblin.
Justin C. Hodges.
Brittany Norman Stewart.
Evelyn Grace Linford.
Joseph Christopher Smith.
Bailey Paige Hamblin.
David Musaikia.
Jennifer S. Southwick.
Christopher B. Pink.
Robinette.
Devin Kaminsky.
Jessica Winona Gitt.
Matt Andrushko.
Kirsty Shero.
Mahid Alabad.
Katie E. Lance.
Michelle Ann Milner.
Eric D. Graham.
Matthew Odendahl.
Jerica Twitchell.
Timothy John Turner.
Morgan Ann Hudson. Shane W. Thompson. Stacy Stark. Jacob Rene Zamora. Eric Hans Fromberg. Inez J. Martinez. Joshua Haslam Summers. Jamie J. Stimson. Eric James Johnston. Crystal Marker. Augie McKenna Witkowski. Jaden Carl Smith. Sandy Howard.
The next group of graduates we will recognize are those who are receiving the Associate of Science or the Associate of Arts in General Studies.
Laura G. Ponce de Leon. Philip Bennick. Mari Lewis North. Justin Jones. Lily Marie Smith. Lindsay Michelle Higgs. Keenan Lloyd Campbell. Melanie Sue Hopper. Carson Lynn Malin. Gary Patrick Duran. Emily Elizabeth Owen. Alexis Hallsworth. Rebecca Ann Barker. Brady Jill Jones. Jacqueline P. Peevler. Bianca Denise Haro. Kylie P. Sheesh. Brandy M. McEwen. Jennifer Joanne Ashworth. Brooke Alexandria Chambers. Stacy Michelle Nacino. Johnston Hurd. Craig Eugene Peterson. Stacy Rose Truouts. Israel Canarza. Shaylee Brooke Roth. Adriana Perez. Janine Calloway. Cassiano John Trujillo. Rachel Ann Krutchka. Sally Iris Steele.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates from the John B. Goddard School of Business and Economics. The first degrees to be awarded will be the Master of Business Administration, Master of Accounting, and Master of Taxation. Graduates, please come forward.
Tyler J. Patterson.
Brian F. Mitchell.
Yusuf Alawati. Masouf Hussein Al-Quatan. Solmaz Hosseini. Kim O. Woodbury. Martin A. Perez. Bruce Lawrence Young. Javis Lee Darkus. Daniel R. Anderson. Matthew S. Johnson. Brian Lincoln Homer.
Tin Hui Vanessa Lee.
Brady Troy Lunt.
Thomas Doxey.
Mandy Morphin.
Colton Jeffrey Spencer.
Allison S. Montoya.
Nicholas F. Eddy.
Nicholas K. Alsup.
Trevor Daniel Shepard.
Melissa Jane Acker.
John A. Slaughter III.
Richard Adam Warner.
Justin J. Workman.
Christopher A. Jacobson.
Stephen Larry McFarland.
Jeremy J. Burgener.
Kuanju Park.
Kellen T. Howell.
Valerie A. Moulton.
Kyle G. Howell.
Sean Magley.
Brian G. Barker.
Jae Hyun Bae.
Jeffrey O. McMillan.
Trin Hu.
Nurchia Banda.
Yuling Chen.
Corbin Robert Gale.
Jonathan Layton Howard.
Justin R. Hodgkinson.
Brian Wayne Moss.
Chase B. Holly.
Ryan J. Christensen.
London Sutherland.
Tyson P. Plasto.
Whitney Dobson.
James Laverne Morgan.
Jeanette Porter.
Michelle L. Clifford.
Chanuk Chung.
Robert Tanner Payne.
Shangyu Lee.
Micah Huxley.
Roger H. Whittison.
Gregory Stephen Powell.
Alex T. Newman.
Kyle Catt.
Lyndon Jansen Bennett.
Jacqueline Snyder Herzog.
Andrew Keith Nielsen.
Joshua D. Burns.
Gregory Brent Thomas Peterson.
Jake T. Hall.
Patrick H. Samansky.
Justin R. Ibsen.
Aaron Chad Bergen.
Beaumont J. Brooks.
Cassandra Cray.
Jacqueline Josephine Yeager.
Jordan Alvin Formaster.
Mikhail M. Saraceno.
Willie K. Oquano.
Brett Chase Lechtenberg.
Logan J. Jensen.
Wade Sean Cook.
Sean Rivera.
Ryan P. Brobeck. Kelsey D. Thompson. Sierra Keller. Eric S. Viator. Jeffrey Isaac Thomas. Da Hugh. Bradley Albert Peterson. Lynn C. Tenney. Cody J. Burrows. Kaylee Fiok Vo. Derek S. Bowser. Blake B.K. Smithing.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the graduates from the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Graduates, please come forward.
Saul Moreno Jr.
Lindsay Bonney.
Brandon Michael Myers.
Jason Tier Green.
Elizabeth Ann Scow.
Jennifer Johnson.
Juanita Mendoza.
Sarah Sajeti.
Tiffany Louise Paquette.
Caitlin Rose Martinson.
Christian Johnson.
Jacob C. Hansey.
Corby S. Johnson.
Rachel Manning.
Joshua L. Deans.
Alex G. Vandy.
Quentin Ryan Unsworth.
Justin Kimball Dial.
Lindy Renee Duvall.
Aaron D. Rozier.
Travis Brierly.
Marcy Bigelow.
David Jackson Johnson.
Daniel Pasquale DeVito.
James B. Duckworth.
Kayla Mackenzie Wilson.
Daniel Mikis Zizumba.
Cameron Oliver Draper.
Debbie Ann Parker.
Irma Music.
Paul Morgan.
Anthony George Romero.
Ashley L. Hansen.
Mark Church.
Derek Frank Brown.
Aaron K. Cox.
Adrian Taylor Chug.
Megan Ann Bybee.
Kimberly Michael Fernandez.
Kent C. Smith.
Melissa Ruby Jensen.
Whitney Ella Hendershot.
Morgan Marie Winchester.
Laura Elizabeth Andelin.
Misty Hoagland.
Kimberly Ray Wheelwright.
Lynette Fackrell.
Kimberly J. Byram.
Valerie Hope Salazar.
Kaylin L. Porter.
Tyson Canobla.
Tiana Larkin.
Scott Clifford Evans.
Joshua David Nelson. Laverne Merle Nelson III.
Karen Elaine Kelly. Darla Waimatsu.
Kayla Nicole Solberg.
Heather Marie Frampton.
Kristen M. Espedia.
Justin Godfrey.
Michael Miller.
Richard B. Morgan.
Brian Wicker.
Thomas Raymond Hall.
Trevor J. Hogg. Danielle Elaine Husberg.
Jordan C. Bybee.
Garrett Graham Cole.
Deborah Peterson.
Christopher W. Roberry.
Daniel Soto.
Kyle Hachia Robinson.
Courtney Elizabeth Brothers.
Maria C. Cunning.
Kaylee Butler.
Samsak Hendricks.
Melinda Epperson.
Felicia D. McCleary.
Sarah Jo Paxton.
Cassandra Elizabeth Reynolds.
Julie Grieve.
Stephen James Strobel.
Erica Brooke Olson.
James Ryan Nielsen.
Jared D. Daly.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the graduates from the Jerry and Vicki Moyes College of Education. The first degree to be awarded will be the Master's of Education in Curriculum and Instruction and the Master of Science of Athletic Training. Graduates, please come forward.
Jared M. Johnson.
Jason Allen Greider.
Katie A. Xingchang.
Kelly Afuvai.
Jenalyn Olson.
Annette K. Molding.
Megan Crivello.
Ashley Crystal Pobego.
Devin Noel Crivello.
Amy Duggar Ellis.
Marie S. Lohr.
Trudy Ann Hansen.
Carly Phelps.
Marissa D. Burns.
Stephanie Marie Bird.
Christina Summers.
Jenna Marie Lavota.
Matthew K. Butler.
David Buell and Elizabeth Burgoyne Dilly.
Nicole Greenwood. Cheyenne Sadie Pope.
Jason Davidson.
Bailey F. Caton.
Amy Miriam Peterson.
Chelsea Joe Gill.
Jennifer Lynn Caldwell.
Evelyn Gil Huerta.
Aaron Flores Bello.
Angelina Ojeda Kirschman.
Shelby Marie Sakamoto.
Casey F. Swain.
Maria G. Arteja.
Kirsten Buck Campbell.
Rachel Suter.
Amelia Ellis Kraus.
Mackenzie Mordaunt.
Jessica Marie Peterson.
Jonathan Leifler.
Mandy Dickerson.
Shalane Amber Barrett.
Kelly Norton.
Shelby Lynette Ropolato.
Letitia Elizabeth Jensen.
Melissa Lynn Nicolaisen.
Ashton Aaron Johnson.
Hunter Matthew Lamberth.
Kylie A. Colvin.
Travis Adams.
Sarah Marie Purser.
McKenna Sobers.
Matthew B. Moore.
Logan I. Putnam.
Colby K. Gomez.
Faith Rachel Bushman.
Christine Michelle Bordeaux.
Caitlin Elizabeth Wilson.
Jared Dallin Buckley.
Aubrey Luce.
Alex Land.
Shannon Claire Gibby.
Sarah Lynn Carver.
Nathan Lanier Prince.
Jessica Hackey.
Ashley Ott.
Jaime Albert Garcia.
Rachel Vadreen.
Schaefer J. Summers.
Brandy Hyde.
Emily Parcell.
Brittany Megan McCurry.
Jennifer Marie Kerneal.
Nicole Lauren Engel.
David Joseph Debate.
Heidi Ann Sparrow.
Shalise K. Phillips.
Chelsea
Bailey.
Ray Hardy.
Alexa Jem Allred.
Tyler Scott Jensen.
Chantel Marie Taylor.
Jennifer Allie Payne.
Caitlin Jill Scott.
Stacy L. Nance.
Jocelyn Marie Fulmer.
Brittany Natasha Roebuck.
Megan Kennington. Heather L. Gray. Paige Bailey Burrows. Chelsea Bodrero. Jennifer Ann McElrath.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the graduates from Dr. Ezekiel R. Dumpke College of Health Professions. The first degree to be awarded is the Master of Health Administration. Congratulations, graduates.
Darren Cummings Day.
Haley Day Fredrickson.
Maribel Aguiano.
McCall Mason.
Karen Marie Plunkett.
Raquel Lynn Castanguay.
Shauna Marie Smoot.
Mikhail Bachman.
Aaron N. Tuvison.
Kylie Brianne Martin.
Cherie Marino.
Martha G. Johnson.
Tiffany Park.
Whitney Shea Howard.
Raquel B. Jolly.
Shaylana Marie Rencher.
Erica Chavez.
Shaylee Faye Stanworth.
Ashley Chavez.
Kim Parkinson.
Stephanie S. Rowe.
Amy Gustafson.
Tracy K. Lindquist.
Rebecca H. Bond.
Susan D. Dunsmore.
Heidi Jean Ellertson.
Haley Stokes.
Jessica L. Fecto.
Kimberly Radmo.
Kersha M. Butters.
Michelle Roberts.
Stasha E. Sparrow.
Anna Lynn Elison.
Athena Adriana Waltz.
Mary K. Brackett.
Robert Greg Nelson.
Julianne Nicole Freeman.
Tammy L. Bird.
Daylin Tasha Clausen.
Gregory Nathan Chavez.
Gayla A. Harvey.
Kate McMaster Smith.
Kelsey Dunford.
Dale W. Kingston.
Blaine Pilgrim.
Richard Gregory Wilkin.
Kylie Jo Dutton.
Dejan Aguiar.
Kylie Joyce Holt.
Jody Burt Vargo.
Angela Janelle Winkleman.
Braden Jacob Hatch.
Samantha Smith.
Heather Lynn Kramer.
Haley Marie Busby.
Tara Lynn Atkinson.
Holly Princess Barnes.
Darlene Nguyen Jones.
Amber Lynn Barnard.
Martha Lopez.
Carly Jean Evans.
Benjamin J. Eddy.
Brianna Panter Halverson.
Jessica Eckersley.
Carly Gubler.
Ashley Christine Nimmo.
Sandra L. Pippin.
Julia Magdalene Allred.
Melissa Higgs Thompson.
Samuel Stokes.
Albert Simon Stone.
Jonathan P. Stokes.
Melissa Arellano.
Brock K. Berlin.
Louis Anderson Skillman IV.
Michael Robert Eddy.
Kimberly S. Kobernick.
Alan Hussein A. Akhalifa.
Jonelle Carling.
Hamed Ali Al-Asmarni.
Carly Nelson.
Gibran Ali J. Ashrani.
Rebecca Boardman.
Anwar Al-Sad.
Michelle Starkey Peterson.
Kylie Thomason.
Michael B. Coburn.
Jessica Muhlstein Garner.
Natalie Marie Matthews.
Megan Elizabeth Hales.
Erica Nicole Sullivan.
Annie Elaine Bankhead.
Jessica Marie Carlisle.
Mikhail Cook.
Rebecca Page Vanderhoeven.
Haley Grace Kasuda.
Candace J. Eckberg.
Kelsey Reed Kelsey.
Audrey Farron.
Heather Moyes Coleman.
Colleen Lauren Allen.
Stacy Higley.
Jessica Simmons.
Brent Meggie.
Brooklyn Brower.
Kimberly Dawn Bigler.
Jason Taylor Lang.
Derek J. Stone.
Elise Wilkinson.
Sari Ann Riley Stone.
Candace D. Moyes.
Parker Elizabeth Bosserman.
Stacy Stokes.
Danae Lena Stratford.
Michaela McKenzie Hanson.
Shaylee Crozet.
Sandy Rochelle Owens.
Lindsay Winger.
Caitlin Reed.
Brianna M. Wanless.
Tisha L. Saccone.
Ashley Brooke Mott.
Amy Winter.
Kathy Eileen Briggs.
Brittany Chantel Barney.
Beelin Taylor.
Angelina Marie Holden.
Tessica Ann Reynolds.
Kenzie B. Bronson.
Brianne Nicole Archibald.
Amy T. Burns.
Kylie Ray Williams.
Amy Ray.
Angela Marie Sveit.
Kristen Marie Oki.
Shaylee Smart.
Sheena M. Olson.
Lara Jacqueline Tucker.
Lauren Bybee.
Caitlin L. Lagerquist.
Amy Sorensen Adams.
Michael R. Niven.
Misty Lorraine Ellis.
Christy Noel Story.
Paul Edward Kingston.
Danielle Marie Onkin.
Natalie Christine Wright.
Julie K. Staley.
Paige Marie Taylor.
Terry Lynn Larson.
Megan Farmer.
Lene Park.
Diana Dorothy Brewer.
Scott Logie.
Denise Wilcox.
Christina Noel Keller.
Kathleen Hemingway.
Janelle Parkinson.
Alejandra Marie Barrianca.
Devin Daughtry.
Kathy L. Merritt.
Jesse Dutoy.
David Chandler Bing Millward.
W. Lynn Richins.
Kellyanne Jones.
Catherine Ann Muirhead.
Sarah A. Dunn.
Alyssa Huff.
Cami M. Parker.
Shelby Stratford.
Chelsea Ann Jenkins.
Garrett J. Sewell.
Shaylee Megan Adams.
Summer Rochelle Rush.
Kelly Michelle Roper.
Chelsea Nesbitt.
Crystal Hennifer Smith.
Kylie Ann Lowe.
Stephanie E. Holdaway.
Colleen Kemp.
Crystal Gwen Partridge.
Brianne B. Miller.
Catalina Johnson.
Rebecca Sue Howe.
Jessica Parento.
Michelle Catherine Morrill.
Kelsey A. Peterson.
Tiffany Erin Truman.
Haley Nicole Darling.
Robin J. Steed.
Jason M. Martinez.
Stephanie K. Crossley.
Mary E. Swanevelt.
Lindsay Gill.
Kimberly Ann Salazar.
Trista Brooke Matheson.
Erin Christine Johnson.
Amber Sully.
Amanda Lynn Oliveira.
Ashley McFarland King.
Sarah Jean Pittman.
Jace Nye. Samantha May Wood. Carly Ann Christensen. Camry Henson. Candace Lake. Liesel Alexander. Nicole Whitbeck. Ashley K. Williams. Audrey M. Stokes. Lucy L. Peterson. Mary E. Hernandez.
Graduates, although the journey that you have taken has been a transformative one, one thing has remained constant: the support that you have received. Your graduation today is a personal achievement, but one that would not have been possible without the family, friends, faculty, staff, and others who supported you. Graduates, let's give those who supported you a round of applause. Thank you. You will now hear from Andre Lortz, President of the Weber State University Alumni Association.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Alumni Association, we wish you a hearty congratulations on obtaining a degree or certificate from Weber State University. This is truly a wonderful moment in your life. You have spent many hours studying, learning, listening, reading, writing, and probably cramming to get to this day. Take a moment and enjoy the feeling of this accomplishment. As you know, universities have lots of traditions. One of them at Weber State is for the president of the Alumni Association to ask the alumni of the university to stand during commencement. So I invite all the alumni from Weber State to please stand. Graduates, that includes you now. Thank you. You may be seated. Did you notice all those who have gone before you? Weber State has unlocked the potential of many people over the years. This institution has been a place where dreams were born, nurtured, realized, and empowered. As you move forward in your chosen endeavors, remember that the only limits are those that you place on yourself. The future is not yet written. Your decisions and actions will determine where you go, what you do, and the impact for good or otherwise that you will have in this world. If I may take the liberty to give you some advice, believe in yourself. Every one of you has the capacity to do so much good in the community, the nation, and this world. Opportunity is usually found wrapped in difficult or challenging events. As I look back on my career path, I see many times when things didn't work out as I expected, but over and over again, I found opportunities in front of me to do hard things, to learn new things. It was always in embracing these opportunities that I found success. In fact, several times I found that by doing a good job, I would be eliminating my own job. While not knowing the future may be disconcerting, trusting that you have something to offer the world and not being afraid to fail are key ingredients to finding success. As you move forward in your life, remember that you will always have the support and encouragement of the faculty, staff, friends, and alumni of this great institution. We will be cheering you on to even greater heights. If we can ask one favor of you, that would be stay connected to Weber State. Don't let this day mark the end of your association to this institution. Whether you join the Alumni Association, sport a Weber State license plate on your vehicle, or attend events at Weber State, please stay involved and connected. We are all strengthened by the associations we keep. Again, congratulations. Celebrate this moment and best wishes for your future.
Thank you, Andre. We appreciate everyone who planned, organized, and participated in this commencement ceremony. If there are any in the audience who would like an additional program, they'll be available at Portal 14, just above here. You may pick them up after the conclusion of the commencement. For those who would like to view this entire ceremony, please refer to page 23 in your program for information on watching the commencement on Weber State's YouTube channel or instructions on how to obtain your personal DVD of this ceremony. Alumni, although today represents a transformation into a better life, I encourage you to continue your connection with Weber State University. No matter where you go in life, realize that Weber State will be here for you. You may always return to learn, to foster relationships with faculty, to support students who follow in your footsteps, and to take part in Weber State activities. You'll always be a part of Weber State University, a place that helped you transform your life for good. Now would you please join the Weber State University Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Dr. Francisco de Galvez and student vocalist Callie Omer, in singing our school song, Purple and White. For those of you who have not yet memorized Purple and White, there'll be one last quiz before you graduate. Just kidding, the words and music are printed inside the back cover of the program. The recessional by the graduates will then conclude this 144th commencement exercises of Weber State University. The audience, platform guests, and faculty should remain standing during the recessional. Please rise for our school song, Purple and White.
Proudly waving o'er old Weber, an ensign of truth and right. The flag, I love it, waves above. I love it with all my might. Oh, royalty lies in its purple, and purity in its white. I'll honored be if true to thee, and dare to do the right. Oh, I'll be true to thee.